I think it will be something that we're going to look at for decades to come. This is a very important case, I feel, that will be used as case law.
It's the man, the myth, the legend, the David gun store owner who took the Goliath ATF to court and won.
Breaking news, I did it. Michael Cargill versus Merrick Garland. The Department of Justice, Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms, the bump stock lawsuit. I beat him in the United States Supreme Court. I was told over 5 years ago, why are you going down this road? No one cares about bump stocks. Let's go ahead and let them take the bump stock. But instead, I stood and fought. And because of this, the bump stock case is going to be the case that saves everything. It's going to stop the ATF from coming after their brace, the triggers, all different parts and pieces that they're trying to ban. And I'm glad I stood up and fought. So now we have a case that is case law that we can move forward around this country and defend our Second Amendment rights. As always, more guns equals less crime. You go out there and you buy yourself a gun. Better yet, get yourself a bump stock.
We've been talking about this case all week, and so it's only fitting that we talk to the hero himself, the man who puts the Cargill into Garland versus Cargill, Garland being for Attorney General Merrick Garland, head of the DOJ, of which the ATF is an agency under its umbrella. Joining us now to discuss is none other than Michael Cargill, the owner of Central Texas Gun Works. Michael, thanks for being here tonight, and first off, congrats on your big Supreme Court victory.
Absolutely. Thank you very much for having me.
So I'm sure you've heard this a million times, but how are you feeling right now?
Emotions are like through the roof. I got a lot of things going through my head. It's pretty exciting. It was exciting back in February being in the United States Supreme Court, sitting in the halls of justice there, looking at the red walls and also looking at those white pillars. It was very exciting, thrilling then. And then once the ruling came down on June 14th, which was the Army's birthday, which is Flag Day, it was fitting to get the ruling to be able to really stop a government agency from overstepping their authority.
We're going to get into the meat of the case in just a second, but I just have another question that is of interest, at least to me. But, you're someone now, one of the very rare people who can say that you sued at the level of the Supreme Court and won. So did you celebrate it all, or how did the celebrations that weekend go, if you were able to do anything?
Yes, we did celebrate here in the gun store. We did a little short toast. We did get a sip of wine because we were still working.
Oh, makes perfect sense. But like I was talking about earlier, let's talk about the case. So we heard from you just a moment ago. The big question on everyone's mind has been for a while dogging you is, well, why bump stocks? Why does it matter? You explained a little bit of that in that clip we just watched, but I'd like you to elaborate further to the audience. Why did this bump stock ban, why did you feel the need to, do what you did, file the lawsuit, and to pursue it up to the nation's highest court? I mean, I'm glad that you did, but I was wondering if you could walk us through that thought process.
Sure. When it happened 5 years ago, I was actually pretty upset. The fact that the ATF walked into my home and told me that something that I legally purchased, I had to give it up. It was banned, and if I did not surrender it, they were going to charge me with a felony. And so I thought that was just insane. I said, we cannot allow this. This is a government agency. This is not Congress. We have a constitution. We have a Bill of Rights. It's not called a Bill of Needs, ladies and gentlemen. It's called the Bill of Rights. And so we have a right in this country, and we have to follow the Constitution. You cannot allow a government agency to just overstep their authority and just create law. And so I decided that I was going to stand and fight. And I said, I'm no good to anyone if I'm locked up or I'm in jail. No good to you. But if I go ahead and I surrender my bump stock and within 30 minutes later file this lawsuit, we'll take it to the ATF and we'll see them in court.
And like I said, I'm so glad that you did. There's this idea, and I think it's very truthful, that there is a fourth branch of government that not as people are aware of, but you were hitting on it just a moment ago, and that's the administrative state. It's these executive agencies. However, they become their own fourth branch of government because, like you said, they get away with writing their own law. They have their own courts that give them preferential treatment, and then they're the executive agency, so they get to enforce said law.